Welcome back, VST here guys, Venice Tech. I put a comment in my community section guys asking you if you want to get a dedicated video on the Oppo Find X6 Pro with the latest camera software, or you want me to compare it with the iPhone, as I already compared it with the S23 Ultra and the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. So you voted to get a dedicated video, and that's it. Why I do believe that the Oppo Find X6 Pro guys deserves a dedicated video? Well, because it's really one of the most premium phones that you can buy right now with Android, and also of course it's crazy expensive. So this here is the front camera, and it's probably the only or the biggest downside that the Oppo has, because it only films 30 FPS and sadly also only FHD. And that's not even the biggest downside. The biggest downside is that HDR processing guys on the front camera on the Oppo is still not great. So let me just show you around. Usually in a very nice HDR scenario guys, you should see here some clouds and some sky, okay? This is not the case, but let's turn things around. With the back camera, it's really looking definitely better. This right now is the back camera guys, 4K 60 FPS, and I decided to start with the ultra wide. Also keep watching guys, I'm gonna show you a lot of nice scenarios. At some point I'm also going to switch to 4K 30 FPS. You might think why? There is a very particular reason. While using 4K 30 FPS and 30 FPS in general guys, all these phones, the Samsung, the Xiaomi 13 Ultra and the Oppo Find X6 Pro, they allow for you to switch through all the lenses while keep shooting video, and this is the best way that I've identified to test what happens with color reproduction and consistency. This is very important guys, consistency from all cameras. So I started from the ultra wide, and I'm gonna share guys the maximum zoom that I can get. This right now is 1.1. I can keep going on. Okay, this is now 2.0. It is a crop from the ultra wide and it looks really good. I can go now up to 3.1 guys, and in fact the maximum that I can get from the ultra wide is 4.0, which already doesn't look that great. Now let me just go to the 1X main camera. We are now using 1X on the main camera guys, and I am starting with the sky and the clouds to be able to show you what we are able to see, and also of course try to capture some of that sweet detail guys. Now I'm gonna test also the zoom as I promised, and keep in mind right now this is gonna be only zooming in on this very same sensor I'm shooting the video, and later on when I turn the 30x it's gonna cycle through all the lenses. We are now at 2.2x guys. I am going to keep zooming in 3.1, but still a crop from the main sensor guys. We can do even more. 4.4 already guys, starts to be a bit of a scrambled. 6x, okay, memorize this 6x, because then you're gonna see what happens when we engage with the Periscope cameras later on, and actually 6x is the maximum that we can get. I'm gonna unzoom right now so that you can just see what happens. As I promised, this is for me very important on these high-end phones, how well they handle zoom in, zoom out, and even better, how well they handle while cycling through all the lenses. What I'm looking to get really is color consistency, which means that I don't want really to see that the cameras are changing. You know, I want this to be a seamless process. 2x from the main camera guys. I'll try to zoom this up for you a bit so we can go up to 6x guys, and the reason for this is that the 2x is also a crop from the main sensor. And as I keep shooting guys, I'm gonna show you even some more interesting footage, some very bright colors, and also some green grass, blue sky, and all those things that really get HDR moving. Also guys, I'm gonna start a run right now to be able to test the stabilization. My test right now with the S23 Ultra and the Oppo Find X6 Pro and the Xiaomi 13 Ultra are showing that the stabilization is not the best in the Oppo, or let's say definitely not at the level of the Samsung. But hey, I mean the S23 Ultra is really doing an amazing job, and by the way the Xiaomi 13 Ultra is also able to keep up. 3x guys, and I am already using the Periscope camera. I wanted to show the details that I'm able to get. All right, let me just zoom in on this very nice leaf. Now start zooming in guys. I can go here already to 4.1. I can keep going guys. I can do this up to 18, and it's gonna look really fantastic. So this is already 7. I'm gonna keep going until I reach 9. This right now is 10 guys. 10x zoom with using the Periscope camera, guys, and I can go up to the promised 18, guys. Now, to be able to put this into a context, guys, I'm gonna show you a building, so I'm going to unzoom back to the 3x. So let's just focus on the top of the building, guys, and I'm gonna start to zoom in until we reach 18, so that you are able to estimate if the footage that you're getting here is good or no, and also of course how seamless this zoom or not seamless is happening. 6x video zoom, guys. Again, Oppo claims that 6x is almost lossless like optical. It's indeed hybrid, but it's so good that one might really get tricked that that's optical. We can also get to 18 here, so let me just go and show you the very same building, guys, that I was showing you before, and I'm gonna try to zoom it up until 18x so that you are able to see the quality of the footage. Of course, after 10x there's gonna be noise, there's gonna be digital artifacts, but on 6x, guys, the video is still great. And right now, guys, I am showing you the video at 3x. I'm gonna go and reach 6x, which is the original mode, guys. So remember, we are only using one and the same lens every time we engage with the zoom in and zoom out, but later on the 4K 30 FPS we're gonna cycle through all the lenses. This here is the 10x video, guys. Let's zoom in that chimney. Here we can also go and reach up 18, which is pretty much the same amount of magnification you're gonna get with that camera. And by the way, even if I started from 10x, guys, I am able to zoom out to 3x. Okay, so 3x, right, and we can go up to 18x. This is pretty much what you're gonna get from all these lenses. 18x is really the maximum, guys, and I'm just gonna do one quick test here, guys. I'm gonna zoom out so that you can just see this is really starting from 3x, guys, and I'm now going to very slowly zoom in until I reach 18, guys, and you can just check the level of the detail. And now, guys, the much awaited test. This here is 4K 30 FPS, and I'm starting from 0.6x, guys. I'm gonna take it now to 1. Okay, this now, you see, this is the tiny moment where we have changed the lenses, guys. Okay, one more time. This here is the ultra wide. Now I'm gonna go back to 1x, and now, guys, I'm gonna start zooming in, and the moment we reach 2.8, guys, you're gonna see again a change in the, oh, see here, very subtle, guys. Okay, below 2.5 we're using the main sensor, so it's a crop, and after we reach 2.8, guys, we are gonna use the Periscope camera. One more time, see, this is a crop from the main sensor, guys, and the moment I zoom in and I reach 2.8, guys, immediately the cameras change, and you can also see this very subtle color change, guys. But I can say I'm really impressed the way Oppo are handling this. And now, guys, from 3.4x I'm gonna zoom it up until we reach the maximum zoom magnification, and this here is the 18. And now some night footage, guys. I'm gonna do again the Twilight scenario and then the pitch black. 4K 60 FPS on the main wide camera, guys. Some boys playing basketball. Okay, I can also try to zoom on them, see how much we're gonna get. We are now at 6. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what do you think about the performance of the camera. We are now at 6, and I do believe that the zoom performance of that camera is really key, because if you're paying this amount of money, you expect to do things like this with your video camera. 2x is nothing more than just a crop from the main, guys, so don't expect here to see any big differences. Again, we can go from 2x to 6x. It's gonna be pretty much the same as going from 1x to 6. 3 is now utilizing the telecamera, the Periscope one. We know that the optical zoom here is 2.8x, guys, and you can just see without light things are not great. And we can check what happens at the sky in Twilight. We can now go here up to 18, guys, 18. So 18x in Twilight mode. And this here is the ultra wide camera, and as you can see, hardly anything is seen, guys, on the viewfinder where there is not enough light. When there is enough light, guys, I'm still able to do some zooming here up to 4x only. So let me just show you the sky up to 4x only on the ultra wide in the Twilight scenario. Only FHD, guys, only 30 FPS. I don't think really we have to spend more time here. It looks like something from 2012, but have in mind there is not enough light. If I am to get into a lighter scenario, it's probably gonna get a bit better, but still it's really far from where it should be for a flagship phone in 2023. And now the promised dark scenario, guys. That's the front camera. I do believe it's quite obvious. There are not really a lot of phones that can do better. Of course, some of them are a bit better, but in this case, yeah, front cameras just die. Let's check what these back cameras can do, specifically the one with the 1-inch sensor. This here is the ultra wide, guys. So I'm going to exit out of this forest, so to speak, to try to see what kind of details we can sneak in, and I'm gonna jump now to the 1x 4K 60 FPS, guys. This is the main camera, the 1-inch sensor, and I do believe it's actually better. All right, so if I am though to turn in the dark area, I'm still gonna be able to capture more footage. 2x, as I clearly said a lot of times, is just a crop from the main sensor, so no surprises here. And we can try to zoom in up to 6x just to see what happens, but we know it's not good. 3x now utilizing the telecamera, so definitely interested to see what is happening here. And the telecamera has also the option to go up to 18. Now let's just see how well it is at 6. I would say not that bad. Let's just see what is gonna happen at 10. Also not that bad, though shaky. And now I'm gonna go to the maximum, which is 18, and it's still readable. I'm gonna zoom out a bit and just show you guys the sky and this structure here, so that you can see what is going on. 6x, guys, and I see a lot of noise in the viewfinder. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the real result, but let me just zoom up to 18 here. All right, let me zoom out and let's just see what we're gonna get on the 6x, guys. 6x on the Oppo is said to be almost really like optical, but we know actually that's hybrid. So though the footage is not that bad, this is now 6.4. I'm just gonna put it back to 6. Okay, this is here the clear 6. And now back to my favorite scenario. I'm shooting 4K 30 FPS. If you don't know why, let me tell you guys. I'm starting from 0 to 6. I'm gonna go to 1x and we can immediately see, wow. All right, guys, you see, I love this scenario. We are now on the ultra wide, shooting 4K, but 30 FPS allows us to really cycle through all the lenses. See the big difference, guys. This is the 1-inch sensor, how much light it gets, and this is now going to the ultra wide, but definitely the difference is stunning. 1-inch, and now we're going to the other sensors. I think I can do this quite a lot of times, guys, just to enjoy the beauty out of it. Now, guys, it's gonna get interesting because I'm gonna stay here, and as I go to that X, guys, we are also going to change back to the smaller sensors, guys. So again, this is the 1-inch sensor, the crop from the main camera, and now we engage with optics, but we are using the worst sensor. It's not a worse, I would say it's a smaller sensor though, and we can still do here up to 18. And zooming out, guys, will also get us through all these different lenses up to really down to the ultra wide from the 1-inch. And I guess, guys, it's really clear how beautiful and how nice this 1-inch sensor is, how much light it's able to capture. It's just amazing. So I'm doing this one more time, guys. Just amazing.
Now let's jump to the photos part, guys. I have decided to take the very same approach I have used for the full Xiaomi 13 Ultra camera review. I don't want to bother you with technical details. I want to share some beautiful samples that I curated personally from all the hundreds of images I produced. You can now observe the portraits. I'm really fascinated by the portraits on the Oppo. The object separation is very good. You can just see even the strain of the hairs just being so beautifully separated. The colors are very true to life, and in general all the portrait shots that are made on the Oppo with the 2x and the 3x zoom look spectacular and amazing. Well, with that said, guys, we have to acknowledge that there is this HDR glowing issue. Like here, you can just see they really need to optimize this. Samsung is doing better there, iPhones are doing better there, so HDR is not always best also on the front camera, but the portraits really come out really great. You have the option to soften them, right? If you don't like the skin tones, you can just do something like this here. This is a picture with the softening on, guys. Else, I'm really happy with the main camera portraits and also the ones that are shot by the telecameras. Now you can just see some regular day photos, guys. Everything comes quite nice from the 1-inch sensor. Shutter lock is almost not there. You can absolutely take the phone in your hand and just use it as a point to shoot device. And in most of the times I was really able to get some very nice pictures. In fact, my choice for portrait right now will be the Oppo Xiaomi 13 Ultra has some tints sometimes, and the Galaxy S23 Ultra is not so quick, but eventually all these phones are doing things like this, I would say, in the best possible way for a smartphone in 2023. Now you can just see some portraits also engaging with the zoom mode. You are using different cameras, different lenses here, but you are not getting the details scrambled. You pretty much get the same color, so consistency is very important for me. I want to be able to make shots with all the cameras and get the same colors. I really want to minimize all the post-editing that you can of course do when you shoot things like this, and even of course RAW, but I just want to have a camera in my pocket that is reliable, and then I know from 10 pictures, 7 perhaps, or even 8 will be great. And this is absolutely achievable on the Oppo Find X6. You can see the details are good. The colors, like I said, are very true to life. I know because I can see these things also with my personal eye. And every experience with the Oppo Find X6 in terms of photography is going to be really elevated. So this 1-inch sensor really was key for me. The Oppo Find X6 Pro was the first 1-inch sensor phone I used, and then the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. So I'm really happy with what I was able to get. And this is going to get even more amazing, guys, when I jump to the macro photos. But right now, still some very beautiful portraits, guys, and you can just see they really look stunning. And this is something to be expected from phones like this, from this price tag, and of course being flagships. Now some macros photos, not all of them come great, but here the main rule is if it's great, then it's gonna be really awesome. The very few next shots are going to demonstrate this, guys. The macro is using the ultra wide camera, and you can really get very, very close. Of course, if you just get a bit too closer, you're gonna get a problem with the focus. The auto lens switching works quite well, I would say. I eventually had to turn it off just to be sure that I'm just testing telecameras or main sensor cameras, but right now I have put it on back, and I'm just happy with all the auto lens switching, taking macro photos with the main camera or from the ultra wide. Again, not all the shots will great. This is why I decided to leave these examples. The colors are very punchy, you know, they really pop out. Even if shots like this, the focus is not great, still the picture itself is going to be with an acceptable quality. I'm gonna throw some more macro photos, guys, because I know that macro photography is very important for all of you. I was not a big fan of using macros until I got the hands really on phones like S series from Galaxy and also the high-end series from Xiaomi and Oppo. And right now I'm just obsessed. I take a lot of macro photos and a lot of portraits, and that's probably even the best or the most used category for myself. You can just see, guys, the object in front stands quite nice. The cutoffs are really amazing, but I have to bring back again this topic of the Asia. Shots like this sometimes come really scrambled and they're not really great. And this is a problem with the Oppo Find X6, also with the Xiaomi 13. Not all the time, guys, but when it's problematic, it is. Now, guys, some zoom photos. The Oppo Find X6 camera can do from 0.5 to 1 to 120x, guys, and in fact I do believe that Samsung has to feel a bit threatened. Now I know for sure that the Xiaomi 13 Ultra is definitely creating some very nice and usable shots on 120 zoom. The Oppo is not at that level of quality, but shots up to 30x and even 60x are absolutely usable. Now, of course, we don't have to lie to ourselves, guys. If you use a smartphone to do something that is more than 30x, guys, it's not gonna be great. And the S23 Ultra is still king in doing photos with hybrid up to 30x, guys. Now you can just see this is a photo of 60, and now, guys, the final photo here is going to be 120, which is really like a water painting. It's not that great. Some more zoom photos, guys, so that you are able to appreciate the consistency of the colors. Take a look at the building and also at the sky, and also have in mind that some of these are taken really into the same scenario. So I just try to use the very same building, try to zoom on it, guys, so you can really able to see what happens when we get this zoom get going. And in fact, I'm happy with the zoom capabilities. I'm not really a big fan of it. I'm probably going to use something like 10x, very rarely 30x, and never above 30, like 16, 120. Now some night photos, guys, and as you can imagine, the photos from the 1-inch sensor are good, but I have the feeling that Oppo can do a bit better with the night mode. The same story as with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. The manual night mode is almost the same as the auto night mode in the stock photos. You can just get something like 2 and 3 seconds exposure, and with this 1-inch sensor, I believe that they can really optimize the night mode. See, even some of the night mode photos with zoom end up being very blurry, so definitely not the best experience, but overall quite pleasant to the eye. So night photography is also not a problem for the Oppo. Guys, I really hope that what you see on the screen makes sense to you and that you like footage like this. If that's the case, don't forget to like the video, sub for the channel, guys. Stay safe until we meet in one of my next videos. With that said, VST over and bye.